What up, what up, what up, everybody? Good morning. This is your boy, Coach RJ, checking in on another Wednesday morning. You're probably wondering, bro, I thought you moved to Florida. Yeah, I did. But didn't realize that the weather sometimes decides that it wants to throw a curveball on a brother. So it's all good this morning. Yesterday woke up and it was 48 degrees outside. Today woke up and it was 41 degrees this morning. So nevertheless, it's all good. You know why it's all good? Because it's another great day, another beautiful day. And if you have been a part of the Impact U family for any period of time, you as well as everybody else knows that I always say it's a great day to be alive, because anytime you can wake up and there's not a white chalk outline around your body, it's a good day. Yeah, that's right. It's a good day. And so, man, I'm excited to be with you guys again this morning. I'm outside. You know, I like to be outside. Just the weather is just beautiful. It's just cold this morning. But listen, every Wednesday morning from 8 to 8:15 Central Standard Time, we try to bring you what I like to call a moment of impact. And the question has been asked and I've answered, but let me just share with you once again why we do it on Wednesday morning. Because you know what? It's the middle of the week. I don't know what the first part of your week has been like. In fact, I don't even really bother. There we go. Looks like we're back in business. Hopefully we'll be good to go from here on out. But yeah, so the middle of the week, you know, we can't change what has already happened the beginning of the week. And so, hey, good morning, Kaori. We can't change what has happened at the beginning of the week. So that's why I don't come on at the beginning of the week. I come on in the middle of the week because my hope and my desire is that I can impact you on Wednesday, and hopefully the end of your week will be better than the beginning of your week, right? So that's why I come on Wednesdays. But our moment of impact is designed for one reason. It's designed to educate, it's designed to empower, and it's designed to encourage people to pursue their purpose with passion. That's right. We're trying to motivate the masses to move to another level. So, I don't know if you saw the title this morning. It's called Sweet Spot. Yeah, that's right. It's called Sweet Spot. So I've had the fortunate pleasure for much of my life to be involved in organized sports. I played football, basketball, ran track, and But the one sport that I didn't play organized, if you will, was baseball. Now, I've had my fair share of opportunities to play, co-ed softball or just softball, for different jobs. But I've never played organized baseball. Love the game, love to watch the game. In fact, I've got several family members who have played. Particularly, I've got a couple of nephews. A shout out to Kavion Coates and Quintarius Coates. Those are some of my nephews who have played and been very successful at it. I think my nephew Kavion, I think he's going to go on and play in college, which is pretty dope. But one of the things they will tell you, and one of the things that you learn early on, is that when it comes to batting, when it comes to hitting the ball, there is a thing called a sweet spot. There's a sweet spot, and in fact, one of my coworkers, his son, has played. Jim Mitchell, shout out to him. His son has played, but there's a thing called a sweet spot, and for the longest, I did not understand what that meant or what that was all about. But listen to me carefully. The sweet spot is an actual spot on the bat, right? It's a spot on the bat that when you make contact with the ball, you can hear it. It has a different sound to it. But then also, that sweet spot is a spot on the bat that when you hit the ball, or when the ball hits that spot and you connect, with the bat and the ball, it does exactly what you want it to do. Like you're able to have a maximum power and productivity, all that good stuff. And so I've watched baseball players often, and You see them up there and their whole goal is, man, when I bat, unless they've been given instructions by the coach to do something different, their whole goal is hit that sweet spot. And why do you want to hit the sweet spot? Because the sweet spot on a bat is the area where you can have the most productivity if you hit it on that spot. And the reason why I'm even talking about that this morning is because I wonder how many of us are actually operating in our sweet spots. I remember a company I worked for years ago. My wife still works there now, Family Life. That's one of the words that you would hear oftentimes around that particular ministry, talk about people being in their sweet spot, people operating in their sweet spot. And I believe very quickly there are some lessons we can learn from this whole idea that the baseball players have called a sweet spot. In fact, I really don't think it's just exclusive to baseball players, because I believe that field goal kickers, they identify a sweet spot on the football. And I used to be a holder. Shout out to my nephew Damon, who's a baller, the beast over at North Little Rock High School. And one of the things that he does, after they score touchdowns, he'll come out here and hold the ball. And even as a kicker, you want to make sure that the laces are pointing away and the ball is a certain way, because when they kick, they want to hit the sweet spot. So I believe there are a number of different sectors in life, particularly in the sports arena, that operate based on sweet spots. Now, what does that have to do with you and I? Here's the thing. You and I must operate in our sweet spots. Now, let me say this. If you're watching live, cool. Shout out to you. But then if you watch the replay, just hashtag replay. Here's the thing about sweet spot. So number one, here's a couple of lessons. The first thing that you must do when it comes to sweet spots is that there must be identification. Identification. So that's what the baseball players have done from the time that they played T-ball to the time they got, on up in their career. They identified the sweet spot on the bat. Now, for you and I, we must identify the sweet spot in our life. What do you mean the sweet spot in your life? You have to identify the area in which you operate at the highest level. The problem with many of us is that we haven't identified our sweet spot. We haven't identified our sweet spot. I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he was looking at my resume, and we were talking about some of the things that I like to do, and he asked about just my career progression. I told him, I said, listen, I've been in sales and sales leadership for almost 25 years. And that was something that just kind of blew his mind. But here's the reason why. Because I identified sales, coaching, developing, training, all that stuff as a sweet spot of mine. I didn't come out the womb having that identified, but it took some time. And here's the thing. As a baseball player, their goal is to hit the ball on the sweet spot of the bat, but it doesn't always happen that way. There are some instances where they have to get to the plate and they have to swing, right? But watch this. When they find themselves swinging at pitches that are not connecting at the sweet spot of the bat, they wind up fouling. They wound up striking out because they are not trying to hit the sweet spot. All right. So first of all, for you and I, we must, if we're going to, operate at the highest level, in our lives, we must identify our sweet spot. What is it that you are gifted and talented to do? What is it that you are called to do? The problem with many of us, and I'm going to move to this next point. The problem with many of us is that we're good at a lot of things, but we've yet to identify what we have been called to do. See, here's the thing. I have been in a couple of days. I'm gonna do another video about this, but I've been blessed. I can sing. I can hoop a little bit. I did well, playing football. Those are just some of the things, that I can do. But here's the thing, that though singing is not my calling. Playing football wasn't my calling. Hooping wasn't my those things were not my calling, but my calling, hence the name Coach RJ, is to help educate, encourage, and empower people to pursue their purpose with passion, whether that's from a sales perspective, whether it's spiritually speaking, whether it's financially speaking. Those are my calls. So I have found my sweet spot, and that's the reason why I've been successful in life doing those things. So first of all, operating in your sweet spot begins with identification. But when you identify your sweet spot, listen to me carefully. What then happens is it starts with identification. Then there's a term, maximization. In other words, when I identify the sweet spot or the sweet spots, if you will, in my life, then I can start operating in those areas. Because here's the thing. I get maximum productivity out of my life when I'm operating in my sweet spot. Ask any baseball player, they'll tell you, I can get maximum productivity out of every swing I take when I hit the sweet spot. But when I don't hit the sweet spot, man, this is good, made me stand up. When I don't hit the sweet spot, I jeopardize my opportunities when I'm at the plate, baseball play. I jeopardize my time in the batter's box. I jeopardize not being able to advance a runner on first or second, or even to get myself, to first base. Here it is for you. When you don't operate in your sweet spot, you minimize the opportunity to get maximum productivity. Let me say that again. When you don't operate in your sweet spot, hear me carefully, you minimize the opportunity for you to operate at maximum productivity. Listen, I know people have to take jobs. I get that. I know you got to work. I know you got to do all different kinds of things. But if you have been called to be a business owner and you settle for being an employee, hear me carefully, then what's happening is you are minimizing your opportunity for maximum productivity. Let me give a shout out. One of my classmates is on here, Cece, and listen, she was called and is called to be a business owner. And she is killing the thing. Listen, she is killing it. You got to go by and see her. But let me tell you something about her. If she would have settled for being an employee, she would have minimized the opportunity to operate at maximum and get maximum productivity. But because she is operating in her gift and her time, I'm not saying that it's not going to come without struggle. I'm not saying that it's not going to have challenges. But what I am suggesting you today is that the reason why she is successful is because she is doing what she's called to do. And many of us, listen, CC's waffles, listen, the bomb, okay? Let me tell you something. She's operating maximum productivity. And many of y'all that are watching live, and then some of y'all that are watching the replay, you got to ask yourself, you have to ask yourself, why am I not being as productive as I possibly can? You got to ask yourself, am I operating in my sweet spot? My goodness, how much time I got left? I ain't got but another minute. So you got to ask yourself. And so I had to ask myself. I had to personally ask myself. You got it. That's it. You got to be obedient. You got to look yourself in the mirror. And you got to ask yourself. I remember, I'm getting ready to wrap up, but I remember one of my old teammates, man, cat by the name of KD Williams. He's here in Florida, man. That's my dude. And I remember him telling me years ago, we was playing ball together at Henderson State. Shout out to all the Reddies. He said this, and I'm getting to wrap it up. He says, "Ro, listen to me, man." He says it like this. He says, "Listen." He says, "You can." Hold on. Let me get it together. Let me get it together. Here's what he says. He says, "You can lie to me real quick. All right. He says, you can lie to me. When you look in the mirror, don't lie to yourself. And that's how I want to end this live this morning. That's how I want to end this moment of impact this morning, by telling you this. You can look at other people and lie to them. Now, you can fool people. That's cool. Yeah, that's fine. But when you look in the mirror, don't lie to yourself. And so my challenge to you all today, as I get ready to wrap this up, is that when it comes to you operating in your sweet spot, this is what I want you to do. I want you to look in the mirror. I want you to ask yourself, am I actually operating in my sweet spot? David Gover is on here, good friend of mine. His son, he plays ball in North Little Rock as well. He sells cars. You know, I've had an opportunity to sell cars before. Pretty sure I could probably be pretty good at it. But I wouldn't be maximizing. I wouldn't be able to operate at my optimum performance level. You know what I'm saying? Like for all of you all, you got to ask yourself, what is it that I'm called to do? What's up, Mikael? What's up, Stephanie? I'm done. But at the end of the day, you got to identify the sweet spot in your life. And then, so it starts with identification, and then there's maximization. You got to maximize the sweet spot. You got to identify your sweet spot, then you got to maximize the sweet spot. And what happens when you identify it and when you maximize it? Here's the kicker. Not only are you, watch this, able to operate at your optimal performance level, but other people's lives are impacted as well. Yo, I got to go. My time is up. I appreciate you guys. Just a quick reminder, I do a moment of impact every Wednesday morning from 8 to 8:15. And my whole goal, once again, is to educate, encourage, and empower people to pursue their purpose with passion. I've also started a YouTube channel, which I'll probably be dropping. I'm going to drop all of my live videos over there. So if any of you all have missed them, you can check them out. I'll probably have them all uploaded in about a week. And then throughout the week, I'll be dropping little small nuggets over there on my YouTube channel. Listen, I love you guys. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Peace out. Love y'all.